Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our November 11th, 2025 regular meeting of the Waynesboro Area School District Board of Directors. I invite you to please stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States,
To the
Republic,
one nation,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we do roll call, happy Veterans Day to those in the audience that may be veterans. And I will just point out that Dr. Holtzman, Mr. Smith, and myself are veterans. And so for those that have served, thank you all very much for your service. So if we could begin with roll call. Ms. Hennicle.
Mr. Pence,
Here.
Drake, Smith,
Here.
Courtney, Dr. Royer,
Here.
Miles, here, Zimmerman, Mr. Marvin.
Here. Thank you. Up next, we have the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
First and the second. Dr. Sternheim, any adjustments to this night's agenda?
No, there aren't.
All right, so I will then bring us to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention. Carries. That will then bring us to the approval of the minutes. These are our minutes from our last regular meeting, October 28th of 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
First and a second. Any comment, corrections on the last meetings? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carries. That then brings us to our superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. Today, the WASD teachers participated in First Choice Pillar Point Conference here at Washes. For the two sessions I led and the conversations that I had in the hallway, it was a great success. A big thank you to Megan McGuire, Director of First Choice, and all our First Choice Pillar leaders, as well as the presenters, for an outstanding day of professional learning. Big shout out to Starbucks for the free coffee. And we also invited local food trucks to serve lunch. Last week, as Mr. Marvin has noted, we celebrated Veterans Day with a series of programs here at the elementary level. And as always, our learners did a wonderful job at honoring our local veterans. Washes also had their first ever Veterans Day event. I don't believe high school student here to our board representative. Okay, so I don't want to steal their thunder, but I don't have a lot of information, although they had a series of guest speakers. Perhaps Dr. McCallum could fill us in a little bit, but I know when I spoke to one of the teachers at Washes, they were absolutely impressed by how attentive our high school students were for this particular presentation. And one of the guest speakers was a 102 World War II veteran that I had the privilege of meeting a few months ago here at the quite an impressive day. I also had the opportunity to attend Frozen Junior at WAMS, and we definitely have some very talented learners that can act, sing. Well done. I also have a general statement that I would like to read prior to the board meeting. 8 years ago, the Waynesboro Area School District applied and began to receive state funding for high quality pre-K classrooms in our community. Since 2018, that state grant has provided needs-based education for more than 100 children each year at no cost to the Waynesboro community or the school district. This program is a pass-through grant with money flowing from the state through the district to the pre-K providers, Waynesboro Early Learning Center, and First Start partnerships. Despite the lack of state funding and a state budget, Waynesboro Area School District has pre-funded $327,000 towards the pre-K programs this year. funds that will be reimbursed by the state when the budget is finally approved. The district's main concern has been how to navigate our cash flow and determine when we need to borrow money to keep our own school district open. It has been 135 days since June 30th, and the state is yet to pass a budget and provide funding. That is a 37% reduction of our that is 37% of our fiscal year with no information or understanding on how much funding we will receive from the state. In a typical year, we would have already received approximately 6.6 million in state funding for all our educational programs. WASD was hopeful that the budget impasse would be resolved by this point and voted 3 times to provide the funding to pre-K counts from the WASD budget. We understood the importance of pre-K education, and the WASD board voted to fund the program to allow the Waynesboro pre-K counts learners to start school on September 15th, 2025. Despite the state's lack of a budget, the school district and the board of directors understand the importance of educational programs and the commitment to our students, families, and community. I want to thank our community for its help and support as we await the state budget. Our community should not be in a position where we have to pass a district budget. We have to pass a district budget and open our schools while the state does not have to pass a budget provide funding for the Waynesboro community.
Fernheim. So we have 2 public comment. I will just as a general reminder, we have 30 minutes allotted for public comment. Each individual will have 5 minutes for their public comment. So I will invite Ms. Johnson, if you could come up to the podium so that we could hear you, please, and then say your name and your address for our record.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Johnson. I live on 41 East North Street in Waynesboro, PA. Okay, I have a speak. Okay. Good evening. My name is Alyssa Johnson, and I'm a proud parent of 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. 2 of my children currently attend Summit View Elementary School, and my 2 youngest are preschoolers in the WASD 3 class at First Start. 4 of my kids have had the privilege of beginning their educational journeys in First Start's preschool program. To ask that we apply for a bridge loan to ensure that our preschool classrooms can reopen while the state budget remains at an impasse. This isn't just a financial issue, it's a community one. These early learning classrooms are not simply childcare. They are the first classrooms our children ever step into. Kids learn to share, to express themselves, to solve problems, and to build confidence before kindergarten. For my family, these programs have been more than an educational start, they've been a lifeline. During some of the hardest times in our lives, our preschool teachers have shown incredible compassion, flexibility, and unwavering support. We've celebrated milestones with us, offered understanding when life gets complicated, and created a safe and nurturing space that has helped my children grow, not just academically, but emotionally. Right now, many of these amazing teachers, people who pour their hearts into our children every single day, are not being paid while their classrooms are closed. These are professionals that show up, stay late, and give their very best to every child who walks through their doors. They deserve stability and respect for the essential work that they do. Our district's teachers are one of the greatest assets in keeping the classroom open, keeping their livelihoods secure. There's research to back this up. Children who attend high-quality preschool are 50% more likely to be ready for kindergarten and twice as likely to read at grade level by 3rd grade. There are long-term studies at the Perry Preschool Project that show that children who attend quality preschools are 30% more likely to graduate high school on time. For every dollar invested in early education, communities see $7 to $10 return through higher earnings, better health outcomes, and less need for intervention later on. For working parents, these programs make it possible to provide stability in our children and environments and prepare for lifelong success. When the classroom closes and funding is delayed, it will our children lose valuable developmental time. We have had over 900 signatures sent to state legislators and to urge them to pass the budget and restore funding for these programs. But we need your help now to bridge the gap and keep the classrooms open. Giving our preschool programs breathing rooms to stay open and continue serving families while we wait for the state budget to move forward. It's a short-term solution that protects long-term progress. You have the opportunity tonight to take a step to show families, educators, and their community that early education remains a district priority, even in uncertain times. Thank you for your time, your service, and for always putting the students first and listening to my shaky voice.
Thank you. It is not easy to speak in public, so thank you for doing that. Up next, and I apologize, I'm going to say Miss Pomabo. Pomabo. Close, but no cigar. So again, if you could state your name and your address for our record, please.
Hello, my name is Angel Pamibo, and my address is 222 North Grant Street, Pittsboro, Pennsylvania. Good evening. My name is Angel Pamibo. I'm a parent of a former First Start Partnership student and a former special education paraeducator, WASD. I've worked in classrooms from kindergarten through fifth grade, so tonight I speak both from my family's experience and my experience supporting young learners in schools. First, I want to express my deepest gratitude. In the midst of a state budget impasse, the Waynesboro Area School District stepped up and voluntarily funded these classrooms. That decision demonstrated true commitment to our youngest learners, and it brought time and stability for our families. So thank you for that incredible support. First Start gave my oldest son the foundation he needed to thrive. Knowing he was in a safe, nurturing, and consistent educational environment allowed my husband and I to maintain our jobs. He entered kindergarten fully prepared and confident. Today, he's in first grade, reading at a fourth grade level, and performing second to third grade math. I share that not to brag, but because I know that incredible foundation came directly from his time with First Start. First Start support extended far beyond academics. When I expressed concerns about my son's behavior, his teachers didn't hesitate. They connected us directly with LIU for early intervention and provided me with tools and strategies. Because of that, he learned the necessary social emotional skills before entering kindergarten. This level of comprehensive, proactive support doesn't exist everywhere. When children face instability in early childhood, such as frequent changes in care, abrupt program closures, or unpredictable routines, the impact is measurable. Research shows that children in unstable childcare arrangements have higher rates of behavior problems. For young children just beginning school, emotional regulation and social emotional skills matter just as much as literacy and math. On the other hand, high-quality preschool sets children on stronger trajectories. Research shows that children who attend these programs begin school with better readiness, and this early success lays the foundation for accelerated achievement through elementary school. Crucially, one large-scale study found that children who attended preschool at age 4 were significantly more likely to attend college later on in life. In our district, this matters deeply. When children enter kindergarten without preschool experience, the burden falls to our teachers to help fill the gaps, academically, socially, and emotionally. I've witnessed this. Teachers already managing heavy workloads, large classes, and curriculum demands must also catch up some children while keeping the rest of the class on pace. Supporting early learning, early childhood education means we lighten that burden, retain our teachers, and improve outcomes for all students. I believe investing in First Start partnerships is not just an act of goodwill, it's strategic. It strengthens families, supports our teachers, reduces long-term remediation costs, and leads to a better student outcomes across the board. These children are worth this investment, every single one of them. We talk about outcomes, test scores, and budgets, but what we are really talking about tonight is the security of a child who depends on the warmth and routine of their classroom. When those doors closed and when that stability was abruptly taken away, those children do not understand budget impasse or funding shortages. They only feel the fear and confusion of losing the one safe, predictable place they knew. absorb the stress of their parents, and they carry that instability on their little shoulders and into your schools. We may not know some of the names of the future engineers or entrepreneurs in those classrooms, but what I do know is that right now they are just 4 and 5 years old. They need you. And they need stability, the support, and the early education that gives them a fair chance. I'm asking you to look past the line items and see the faces. Please continue to support First Start partnerships, not just for those in this room, but for all of the families in our districts whose voice may not be here tonight. For the children whose potential is extraordinary and who simply need a chance to be safe and ready to learn. That future and that possibility becomes real when Waynesboro Area School District chooses to be their protector. Your decision secures their stability and their future. And thank you for my time.
Much. You have 2 items later on in our agenda that will be for board discussion and action later on this evening. As we continue on, I don't see any student board reps. Seeing none, we will continue on to board reports. So we will go down our list. Mr. Pence, anything from policy committee?
Nothing new, next policy. Yeah.
Thank you. Anything from academic, Dr. Roy?
Academic.
Alrighty, and then for facilities and budget, if you want to get your board committee meetings in, we will also be meeting November 18th, but at 5:30 in the evening. Come in the morning for your academic, grab some lunch, and then stay till budget and facilities. We'll make a day of it. So that'll bring us to our presentation this evening, which is student recognition and awards. So leading this off, you, Mr. Dr. Kopko, thank you.
It's cold, it's all good. Okay, so we would like to recognize a few students that meet various criteria for a few different scholar and award programs. So the first ones, I guess we can go to the first slide. There are 3 different awards highlighted on here. So the National First Generation Award is obviously for students that they are looking to be the first generation within their families to attend college. The National Rural and Small Town Awards recognition is for schools such as WASH's due to the size of the community in which we reside. And then the School Recognition Award is very simply just based on, you know, the criteria that we have in place that qualify students for that. And within this, they also need to get a certain level of SAT scores and AP scores in order to qualify for that. So with no further ado on that piece, I think we have a few of these individuals here. So if anybody that is on this slide is in the room right now, come on up and we will recognize you by name. I'm not sure which of you are here.
Guy.
Hi, Bella. This is Miss Bella Cartwright. Oh, and I see another Miss. Oh, so Bella Cartwright actually has 2 in here. So she has not only a National First Generation Award recognition, she also has the National Rural and Small Town Award recognitions. So congrats, Bella. And then for Amberly, she has, let me find you, you're back in the piece. Okay, so Amberly has the School Recognition Award. And actually, they think you're so important, you get 2 of the same awards. You get 2 copies. One to save. So, and we certainly recognize all the other learners listed up there that were not able to be here tonight with us this evening, but we will ensure that they get their certificates. And then on to the next slide. So within these, These scores, or these awards, should I say, are based on actual SAT scores. So I have a very small printout. It's printed out very small, that actually highlights what each of these means. So to be an AP scholar, it is granted to students who receive scores of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. To be an AP scholar with honor, that is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.25 in all AP exams and scores of 3 or higher on 4 or more of these exams. And then an AP scholar with distinction, that is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. So quite a lot of achievement up on that slide. So if any of the students on that slide that are here want to come on down, we will recognize you. Oh. Gotcha.
You need help, Dr. Kopko.
You want to. Thank you, Dr. M. I know. Bella coming back in. Congratulations. Huh? Thank you. Teamwork.
Fun to be.
Congratulations to all of you. Wonderful job. And we'll also make sure that all of our learners that were not here tonight for these slides get them. So thank you all very much.
Dr. Kopko. Mr. McElwalm, I think you're on deck.
No cheeseburger comments, girls. Hey, thank you for having us here. I always enjoy coming to school board meetings. I'm sure you don't hear that very often, but this is great to get our student athletes out in front of you to kind of see some of the achievement that they go through. But I do want to thank the school board. It's kind of like coaching in a way that kind of thankless, and everyone thinks they can do it until they actually get to be a part of it, and they don't understand that you just don't show up to a meeting and vote on something here and there, but all your committees that you're involved in and the time and that goes through. So thank you for being on the school board. It's a thankless job in a lot of cases, but really do appreciate that all you do for our students here in the school district. So without further ado, I'll talk about my students, our student athletes, our coaches. So when I do call my coaches up, if you want to come up with your whole team, and then we already talked about keeping it under 5 minutes, no wrestling tonight. So we're good on that part of it. I'm kind of a stats person, so I like to give you some information, and I don't want to steal the thunder from some of my coaches, but we did not have a great fall sports season. So we were a little rough. We were 50, 87, and 1. So we'll get that out of the way. The girls cross country were divisional champions. Our girls volleyball team finished 16-4, and we're the 10th seed for district in 4A, which is the highest level. We had boys cross country, girls cross country, volleyball, and golf all sent athletes to district playoffs. We had a lot of close games. I don't know if you got a chance to see some of our games. We had a lot of close games, overtime games, and the ball was just kind of falling off a little bit on the wrong side, which isn't typical for us. Usually we're on a winning record, but we're a little off this year. But if we were academics, we would be winning states in a lot of categories. So let me just run over some of these stats for you. So we had 245 fall athletes. 217 of them made honor roll. 3 of our teams had 100% made honor roll. So our lowest GPA was football at 88.4. That's for all of our athletes, high school 9 through 12. Cheer was 91.6 for their GPA. Boys soccer 92.7. Cross country boys and girls was 93.0. Field hockey was 94.9. And then these were the teams that had every member was 100% on the honor roll. So we had golf with a 95.5 GPA, girls soccer at 96.6, and volleyball with a 97.44 team GPA overall, which is awesome. Good job. And again, I'm just going to talk for like another second, and then I'm going to hand it over to coaches. But there's so many life lessons that are learned out on the golf course, on the field, running through the woods. You can't compare that. Like, there's so many losses that go on. There's so many times they get knocked down and they have to come back. And there's so many life lessons that are learned through athletics. And, we're sitting at 88% are on honor roll with our athletes. So, and again, I thank you for all your support and everything that you do for our kids here in the school district. So without further ado, first team up is going to be Coach Heather Arstead with our cheerleaders. If all our cheerleaders can come down. One last thing, we are going to do group pictures, but we'll just wait till the last group and then we'll all go out so we get to hear every team as we go through. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Heather Arstead, and I am the head cheer coach here at Waynesboro. Here to celebrate the fact that in July, 17 Washes cheerleaders attended the UCA cheer camp at Slippery Rock University with teams all the way from New Jersey to Virginia. The instructors at the camp are highly skilled and experienced cheerleaders, with most of them being college athletes or coaches themselves. I don't know about you, but when I hear the word camp, I think of outdoor activities like canoeing or fishing, or maybe playing chicken with your friends in the lake, and ending the evening with a cookout and s'mores. Don't let the word camp fool you, because the daily schedule starts with breakfast at 7 a.m. and in the gym to start work promptly by 8:30. They will break for lunch and dinner, and their day, after approximately 12 hours of cheering, will be in bed by 10 so they can do it all over again the next day. Also, I don't know if you have ever taken a child to Chuck E. Cheese for a birthday party, but that hyped, pure frenzy, energy, yelling, screaming, craziness, yeah, those girls had that energy for the whole 12 hours every day. They were learning what I like to refer to as choreographed chaos. Our cheerleaders were brilliant and took home 3 first-place titles out of 4. And for the second year in a row, the most coveted award for all those attending cheer camps across this great nation, they were named Top Banana. After having girls at UCA camp every summer for 10 years, I'm still amazed how excited these teenage girls get over a plastic blow-up banana. But at the same time, there's something to be said about the camp instructors picking you and your teammates as being the absolute best squad at camp. And to be honest, it also makes us coaches, our hearts get really warm. While at camp, the girls have a chance to compete for the title of All-American Cheerleader. This is someone who instructors deem can demonstrate exceptional skills in cheerleading, dance, and leadership. Washes had 10 girls who opted to try out, and 8 of them had their hard work rewarded, being earned the title. And those are the young ladies I'm here to introduce you tonight, all of whom are also honor roll recipients for their first marking period. I gave them all the opportunity to share their thoughts on this accomplishment with you, and 7 of them took me up on that offer. Junior and Captain Abby Bird said it represents dedication, leadership, and passion for the sport, that all the hard work, long practices, and commitment has paid off, and it reminds her to take pride in representing something bigger than herself. Abby Bird. Let me meet you. Miss Abby. Okay. Freshman Olivia Caldwell, being selected by people who were not her coaches, told her she was qualified just by them seeing her raw talent. It has increased Olivia's confidence and shows her how to hold herself in everyday life, not just cheerleading, and to set her standards higher. Olivia. All right. Freshman April DiGiacomo. So it made her very happy because it meant all her hard work of perfecting the material paid off, being able to perform her absolute best at her highest ability, and have the instructors acknowledge it as an honor. And that's April. Yay. All right, I went too many pages. There we go. Junior and Captain Alyssa Jaskula. She was glad she was able to have the opportunity to prove she was as good of a cheerleader as she truly is, especially since she missed earning that title last year. Plus, she felt she had a lot more fun this year in the process. Alyssa Jaskula. Sophomore Trinity Martinez. Cheer is something big for her family, with all three of her older sisters having earned this title. Growing up and watching the three of them have their UCA camp experiences really made Trinity want to do so too. And with her being the youngest daughter, to have this also be an honor she has earned means everything to her. And that's Trinity. Okay. Cruz Naylor. It means her hard work paid off, and it shows her that she is progressing even if she has bad days. And I just want to add, same girl. Okay. Riley Shade, is she here tonight? No, Riley's not with us, unfortunately. She said it means that her hard work, dedication, and passion that Riley has put into the sport has been recognized and is a huge accomplishment because it means her talent stood out among the others. The other cheerleader who earned this title and is being introduced tonight is sophomore Kylie McFern. Lastly, the coaching staff would like to thank the school board for all of their support, Mr. McElwain for being a champion of our program, the WASH's admin team for wanting the best for the entire student body in the building, the girls' families for giving their daughters not only the opportunity to go to camp, but to be a high school cheerleader. But most importantly, we've all talked about it. We want to thank the cheerleaders for their hard work and for being Waynesboro flippin' fantastic. They know what that means. Thank you very much.
Next up, if we can get Coach Atkinson. Yes, Coach Atkinson, come on down with her girls and boys. Again, girls won their division for cross country. They were 1 point away from being undefeated. So running 20 plus minutes and missing by 1 point for the undefeated season, but still champions. Thanks, Coach.
Good evening. I am Jen Atkinson. I'm the cross-country coach, boys and girls. And I want to say, first of all, thank you all very much for supporting our teams and the athletes here in the school district. We do appreciate your support throughout our season and throughout the whole year. What can you say about a bunch of kids that'll go out and run mile after mile after mile without complaining? So I have a very hardworking group of kids, and I just want to just go over a little bit of the season. The boys' season didn't end up quite like they wanted. They finished with a 4-5 record. They were 2-5 within the league. The girls finished with a 6-1 league record. We were co-champs for the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. And as Mr. McElwain said, our one loss was by 1 point, which in cross country, you get points based on where you finish. So had two runners just flip-flopped, we'd have won the meet. We did have a second loss, and in that one, it was by 1 point also. Non-league meet, it was a ghost runner that beat us. The other team only had 4 runners. So you can imagine being beaten by a ghost. We had it happen this season, but it just is one of those cross-country things. During the season, we ran quite a few invitationals. We opened the season with Enos Yeager, and in that one, we had medalists in Morgan Jones, Maddie Ruffel, Ella Swart, and Devin Barger. You will see most of them here. Maddie, Devin, and Katie Benke were medalists at Boonesboro. Morgan Jones earned all Mid-Penn All-Star for a 27th place finish at the Mid-Penn meet. So our awards here, Morgan. So she was all Mid-Penn and she was a district qualifier. Allison McCallum was a district qualifier. Maddie Ruffel, a district qualifier. Ella Swart was a district qualifier this year. Devin Barger was a district qualifier for this third year. Noah Hoxie, district qualifier. And Nate Snyder was a district. So thank you all for your support.
And we're gonna leapfrog field hockey. We'll come back to them. But Coach Mark Saunders for football, please come on down with your boys.
I know I'm going to apologize. I know most of you have been waiting to see the real Coach Saunders, but they want to bring me up first. So here I am. Okay. Uh, I want to first of all thank our veterans for your service. I understand we have a couple members here on the board, so thank you for your service. Our season went 2-8, and we're having a shortage of problems with our freshman team. We could not have a team this year because of numbers. So we had to absorb the freshman team. They came up with our varsity, and it actually worked out pretty well with a lot of those kids getting the necessary experience they need in order to compete as they get older. So it worked out very well for us. We had 4 young men to make a conference, and I want to first of all, Coach V. Coach V has been the kicking coach here for 13 years, and something happened this year I think that's very positive. We had 2 young men to make all conference as kickers this year. And I want to start out with them. Let's start with Ryan Martin. Ryan's a senior. Ryan was our punter. He made first team all conference. Ryan averaged 38.6 yards a kick. The most impressive thing about him was his hang time in terms of time the ball stayed in the air was 3.2, which is pretty good. That's almost kind of like NFL-ish. I've seen an NFL player, but he's in that range. And then more importantly, he had 4 kicks that the ball was down inside the 5-yard line. So I think that was just tremendous. And Ryan also is an honor roll student for the market period. So Ryan Martin. All right, the next kicker is Nick Carbar. Nick is a freshman. Nick did an unbelievable job for us. Also he's a soccer player and a basketball player, but I think he's a great kicker. So he's a football player. Okay, so he had a great year. He was 23 out of 25 in terms of extra points. Okay, which I think that's exceptional. He had 3 field goals, one of which was a school record, which was 43 yards. So Nick has an excellent future ahead of him, and he did a wonderful job for us. And not only is he an honor roll student, what's the next level, Nick? Honor roll, and then is honors. So he's honor roll with honors. Okay, so again, Coach V should really be proud of those guys. I think it's the first time she said that she's had 2 kickers to actually be first team. So that's a great accomplishment on her part also, okay? Right, the next guy is, let me go with Christian Monday. Come on up, Christian. All right. Christian Monday is a senior. He waited to a senior year to come off of football, and I don't understand that, but he, don't know. But anyway, had an exceptional year. Christian actually made all conference first team at wide receiver. Now, listen to these numbers now. During the season, he had 37 catches for 755 yards and 10 touchdowns. I think that's pretty good for a young man who only played just 1 year. That's pretty good. And he also made second team defensive back. He had, my stats, he had 81 tackles. Of those 81 tackles, he had 5 pass breakups. And he also had the time to force a fumble and recover a fumble. So he was very active on both sides of the ball for us. So Christian Money, he made first team wide receiver and he made second team defensive back. Stephen Howard. Stephen Howard actually finished 3rd in the state with interceptions. He had 7 interceptions. He's also a wrestler. He has unbelievable talent. He had 2 interceptions, one of which he took back for a touchdown. In coaching terms, I know the coaches, and I'm sure you can also understand this, he has an innate ability to really come out of his back pedal, back up and then just burst forward. And I mean, he's almost like, I think I have 2 guys that actually in my 40 years of coaching I've ever seen being able to do that on a consistent basis. And this young man has a lot of talent. He's also a wrestler, said before, he's going to do real well. So it's Stephen Howard. And party. Oh, and actually, I got you guys certificates right. Didn't see. All right. So in part, I want to thank the board for your continued support. We look forward to continuing the program. I think the program is really growing. We're getting, as I said before, we have a lot of young kids in our program that are developing and getting better as they go. So thank you for your support. Happy Thanksgiving. And I will get Coach Saunders up here in a few minutes. Thank you. We get Coach Henderson and Abby. Come on down.
Good to see everybody out here this evening. And I want to reiterate what Coach Saunders said there. Thank you to our service members on the board and those in the audience. Thank you very much for your service. As far as our season goes, a couple thank yous here. First of all, I want to thank the Country Club for allowing us to use their facilities free of charge. It is a wonderful place, and we're very lucky and fortunate to be there. So thank you to the club and the membership there and the board out there for allowing us to be there and play there. Also, I want to thank the Alice Club. The Alice Club gave us $1,000 this year to buy new golf bags for our starting 6 players. And so thank you to the Alice Club for that donation as well. And thank you to the board also for your support over the years here. So I got good news and bad news. Bad news first. As a team, we knew so hot. As a team, we had only 15 wins and 27 losses, but that's not really how I define success. Success for me and my aging, I'm 30 years in this year, and I had just a great bunch of kids out there. Really did. I had kids that were just eager to be there. They came to practice every day. They wanted to learn, and they did. They did improve, and so that was to me a successful season, regardless of our record. So a bunch of great kids, and also speaking of those kids and their performance academically, even though from a golf standpoint our scores weren't the best, academically they were fantastic. They were really good. All of my kids made an honor roll. Cadence crew was honors with distinction, and so yeah, just a great bunch of kids and academically very solid as well. So thank you for those performances on and off the golf course. And as far as individually, Abby Byers, she made it to districts day 2. And last year she made it to the same point, and she improved her spot, her finish this year. So next year we're hoping to go to the final stage, which is the state championships. And that's as far as you can go in high school golf. So Abby Byers, thank you for your performance, and thank you very much. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Boys soccer, if Coach Corey Dusler can come on down. Like the Price is Right.
All right, just to echo the sentiment of everybody else, thank you for your support. We really appreciate having the opportunity to put on a boys soccer team and give these guys an opportunity to play. So we had 3 guys that were nominated for all conference. Jack Nepper, who can't be here tonight, got second team. Michael Gearhart and Alex Williams, 2 of our offensive players that helped create a lot of goals for us as well. So Michael's here. This is Michael. For boys soccer, there's actually a second All-Star nomination, which is for a prostate or a childhood cancer fundraiser run by the Four Diamonds Fund. And Andres Velasquez and Michael were selected to play in that last week as well. I wanted to bring Andres down. We have 34 players on the soccer team, and Andres played probably every minute of every varsity game. We had 5 guys who were healthy the entire season. They weren't sick, they weren't hurt, and Andres was one of them. So I just wanted to recognize him for everything he helped this year and helped make us go a little bit. So.
We get Coach Brian Fisher for girls soccer.
Good evening. Thanks again for your service. For you folks that are service members, we do appreciate that. Maybe small, but we are mighty here. This is Miley Smetzer. She's a senior. She's a fantastic young lady. She was nominated and earned second team all conference. She was also a member of the senior all-star game that was played last week. Had an opportunity to get out and see her. She did an awesome job. She had an assist playing from a defensive position. She had a couple goals this season, a few assists for us as well. She was our captain, very strong leader, just the person that sets the tone and just works hard all the time. A really, really good role model for the other girls. Autumn Miley. Our season this year wasn't the best season. Last year we had double digit wins. This year we probably had double digit injuries, maybe and then some. We were pretty unlucky when it came to injuries. But I will say we lost, I think, 5 games by 1 goal, 3 overtime games, 2 were double overtime. We were close. We battled. We just couldn't quite overcome some of those obstacles. But I think we did grow a lot through the struggle. And I think the girls stayed together. They stayed positive. They stayed encouraging. They kept battling and kept fighting. And sometimes life just doesn't go your way. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned there. And she's really set the tone in a positive way. I'm grateful for her leadership and her work ethic on a daily basis. Great job, Mom.
And just a, you say they're made all-stars, they're voted on by coaches in the league, and you cannot vote for your own player. So these kids are recognized by coaches from other teams that we compete against, as is Coach of the Year nomination. So we did have Coach Kim Saunders was our Coach of the Year for volleyball this year. So congratulations to Coach. And with that, if Coach can come down, and Coach was my first hire ever here at Waynesboro, so it was a good one. 14 years we've been slugging it out together. It's been awesome. So again, what's this, Coach? 4 or 5 times? 8. See,
Not that anyone's counting.
8 times Coach of the Year, and she also did hit the 200 win mark in her career, which is phenomenal. So she's averaging 15 wins a season over the course of 20 years, or 20 years, 14 years. All right, so Coach Kim Saunders.
Good evening. I, like my fellow co-workers, co-coaches, I would like to thank you for your support for the volleyball program. As Coach McElwain said, this is my 14th year. I was his first hire, and it has been a pleasure to lead this program. I know that some of the other coaches said that they didn't have the season that they desired. However, I know that all my coworkers enjoy leading their programs, whether it is a successful season or if it is a developmental season. So I am no different. We've been through those struggles, and with 6 seniors this year, next year probably will look a little bit different, but we'll see what we can do. I do want to introduce you to all the ladies that are behind me. We are a true family with Maidens Volleyball, and the ladies that did not necessarily win an award tonight did want to come and support their fellow teammates at the school board meeting. So that's why my group looks so large. I will begin with saying that we had 29 members of the program this year, and all 29 members did receive some type of academic honor roll certificate at our banquet that's coming up this Sunday. I say that to begin with that because we are student athletes. And so it is their job to be students first. And that is really important to us. So the fact that we had all 29 again on the honor roll is a great testament to their dedication. So I want to start with our all conference. I nominated 7 individuals from our program. We were really deep this year, obviously with the 16 wins and only 4 losses. If you look around Franklin County, Washington County, we played many individual teams that went to states. And unfortunately for us, Waynesboro is just big and we were in the 4A class and didn't have that entitlement there. But we did have a very successful team. 5 of the 7 that I nominated did make all conference and were selected. So I want to introduce those individuals to you now. Third team, a senior who got a starting role this year. She had, let me look at my stats here. She had 146 kills, 52 blocks, and she was a co-captain, and that was Lexi Nee. Um, Next was a sophomore who had 62 kills, 42 aces, and 220 digs. Means defensively, she picked up the ball 220 times to enable our front row to hit the ball back at them. And that was Madeline Nystrom. And then we moved to our second team award winner, which she was unbelievable. It's hard to believe that she wasn't on varsity last year, but as a sophomore this year, she had 170 kills, which was second on the squad, and she had 102 blocks, which is absolutely amazing. She continues to jump higher and higher, and that was Sarah Aldred. The next two young ladies have been part of the varsity program for 4 years. They both made the team as freshmen, and they are, I don't know, sort of like, if you will, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. One's tall and the other one's a little short, but together they are a tough tandem. So please let me read you their stats. Clara Hellman, first team senior co-captain, 483 assists this year and 50 aces. She finished her career just shy of the 1,000 assist mark with 973. If we could have got that first round district win, I'm sure she would have surpassed it second round. And then Brianna McElwain was also first team all conference senior co-captain, 200 kills this year. This is only her second year attacking the ball, and she was able to earn her 1,000 assists this year. Both ladies, remarkable athletes, and we are so glad to have had both of them, Brianna and Clara. Again, I just want to say all the ladies behind me, they are a true testament to Waynesboro athletics and academics, and it has been my extreme honor to guide them. I do want to also mention Coach Nystrom's hiding back there. Where's she at? She's playing mother too today. Both her kids received awards tonight, but I couldn't do this without her. It does take a village, and I have a very supportive booster club and coaching staff that make me look very good. So thank you.
And yeah, Coach Becca Steele for field hockey. Be our last one.
So I'd like to thank you all so much for your support for the Waynesboro Field Hockey Program. The Waynesboro Field Hockey Program is thriving. Did not say winning yet, but we are thriving for sure. A big thanks to our middle school coach, Mara Bakner. Mara started some new programs this year. So we have a mini maidens camp, which reaches earlier than middle school. And we finally have girls coming up to us by the time they get to high school with strong foundational skills, which is going to be crucial for us going forward. We also hosted an All-American camp for the first time here at Waynesboro. That's very exciting. We had middle school girls and our JV girls attend, and it really went well and got them really excited for the season too. So field hockey is becoming exciting in Waynesboro. With the new foundational skills, our JV team is coming in stronger and they're picking up skills we need them to faster. So things are looking good. The varsity team persevered through a tough year. Their level of commitment to the game and each other is remarkable. Even through the losses, they celebrated the small wins each game. And they gave each game their all to the end, which is so inspiring to see. So we have two second team all-star
honorees. One is Clementine Casada, who is here. So Clementine played as my mid-wing. She also served as co-captain. During the season, she held a 112.7 GPA. She's a member of NHS and the 2026 class vice president. Clementine is also, where she also participates in FCA. She was an intelligent playmaker, picture person on the field, always creating chances for her teammates, which is awesome. Out of the season, she consistently followed our strength and conditioning program. As a captain, Clementine was a skilled listener and gave invaluable feedback to her teammates. First to lead stretching and last to leave the field. So I'm grateful for her and her commitment to the team, and she's very considerate nature. So thank you, Clementine. All right, and not here tonight is Shay Trumpauer. She also received the honor of second All-Stars team. We do have Maddie Kennedy, and Maddie Kennedy is a senior, and she played defensive wing for us. During the season, she earned a 95% GPA, received honor roll with high honors. She participated in choir, and she is also a member of NHS. As a defensive player, Maddie had countless turnovers. I could rely on her. She led the defense team. Her duty was to the defensive teammates, and she was always advocating their needs to me and the other teammates as well. She kept the defense organized, and her resilience and dedication to the game was inspired. So Maddie earns the honor of honorable mention on All-Stars team. Thank you guys so much again for your support. It is invaluable. Have a good night.
May I say one thing? When I taught, if I was having a problem with a student in class, didn't matter what the problem was, academically or whatever, if I go to the coach, that student, towed the line. So this is out to all the coaches. Thank you very much for your support, and thank you for recognizing their academic as well, because I think a lot of that has.
Yeah, our coaches, you can just kind of hear it in their voices. They're very passionate about what they do. They spend countless hours away from their homes and their families to do what they do. So thanks, guys. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. And athletes, if you can make your way out to the back, we'll get some photos. Unless you want to stick around, then you come back for the school board meeting. Finish that up.
So it's exhilarating, Mr. McElwall.
Mr. Marvin says, come on down. All right, thank you again. I appreciate it.
If you could quietly head out towards the back there, that way, and we are going to go ahead and continue with our meeting. So, and then, Malcolm, if I could impose you to close the doors at the back, so I assume that there will be excitement. So, all right, we are going to continue on with our business. We will begin with personnel. So, Dr. McCallum.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. We have several personnel items listed. We want to thank Mrs. Bobby Link for 12 years of service to the district as an LPN and congratulate her on her retirement. We have salary adjustments for supervisory staff, resignations of coaching staff and support staff, reassignment of support staff, appointments of coaching staff, support staff, extracurricular staff. And we have approval for 2 professional staff members, Ms. Caitlin Irwin, who will be joining us 3rd grade at Maury, and Ms. Rachel Nice, continuing with us Hooverville 4th grade. And finally, we have 4 requests for leave, and our recommendation is approval as the personnel as listed.
Thank you, Dr. McCallum. So is there a motion to approve the personnel as listed?
So moved. Second.
A first and a second. We typically do not discuss personnel. So is there any desire to go to an executive session? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hey.
And I will go ahead and abstain. Personal connection.
Thank you.
That brings us down to student waivers.
So we have had, I've shared details over the last, I believe, 2 Fridays with you for 3 student waivers that we're requesting approval for this evening.
Alrighty, so is there a motion to approve the student waivers as shared in the Friday folder? Is there a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
First and a second. Again, we don't discuss student discipline in public, so any additional clarification needed in executive session? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Carries.
Thank you.
We now move to the FLC Joint Authority, and this is in regards to the Shippensburg Area School District.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So this is for the Shippensburg Area School District to join the Franklin Learning Center. They are currently not a member, although they do use the facility. They have to pay a higher rate currently to do that. As a reminder, they're actually a member of the Career Tech, but they never joined the Franklin Learning Center. Again, one of those unique situations that's been there for decades. They expressed a desire to join. I believe that the Joint Operating Committee has agreed that they feel that that's a good idea. It will help the other school districts as well for 2 different reasons. One is they have to buy into it, so they have to kind of pay a portion of equity for that building itself that's owned. And then the second part is that building is going to have a renovation project next year. So they will take on a share of that, of course, as well, which reduces our burden a little bit in terms of that project as well. So we're recommending approval of this. It does not change our voting record. We'll still have 2 seats on the board up there.
I will go ahead and read the motion in its entirety, and then I will ask if anyone would like to move it. So the motion is to approve the Shippensburg Area School District joining the Franklin Learning Center and approving the agreement amending and restating the articles of agreement forming the Franklin Learning Center to reflect the addition of Shippensburg Area School District to the Franklin Learning Center. So is there a motion? A first and a second. Any clarifying questions or additional discussion?
Is this going to affect anyone over there? Is it going to increase their participating?
That's a great question. It will not directly affect our enrollment, but the good opportunity is that they are looking at some projects within the building itself, hopefully completed this spring, which actually add capacity. That involves the pool that will be filled in and created in classrooms there. So it's a good question, but it will not affect our current enrollment. So thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstention.
Thank you.
That then brings us to the Act 1 tax resolution for 26-27.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So you're required as a board to do 2 things, either approve this resolution or approve a budget that would exceed the Act 1 index, which is 4.8% for the 26-27 school year. Historically, we always approve a resolution stating that we'll stay within that index of 4.8%. This is not an action where you're raising taxes or anything along those lines. It's just saying that statutorily you will not exceed that 4.8% inflationary index number for next year if you do anything with taxes for next year. Another little nuance to this, which kind of makes this a little bit of a moot point, my apologies, but if a school district receives adequacy funds, which we do receive adequacy funds, at least we received them last year, we're hoping we receive them this year from the state when they pass the budget. If you receive adequacy funds, you're actually not permitted to seek exceptions over and above the Act 1 index. So nonetheless, this is a requirement. We're asking for your approval on this item to stay within the Act 1 index.
So again, as just to reiterate, Dr. Hunt, this is not an act to move or increase taxes. This is merely saying we're going to stay within the Act 1 index as it's been presented. So is there a motion to approve the Act 1 tax resolution for the 2026-27 fiscal year?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any additional questions or clarifications for Dr. Holt? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Item number 5, the Franklin County Area Tax Bureau 2026 operating budget.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So the Franklin County Area Tax Bureau collects the earned income taxes and our local services tax as well. And this is a requirement that they collect taxes for the entire county, for the school districts and municipality. They also have a board, of course, and a budget that they put together. Their goal is to stay below 2.2%. There's actually an authorization board over above them, which is called the Tax Collection Committee. And they have authorized them with under a 10-year agreement to stay below 2.2%. This budget here would reflect a 1.93% cost of collection. And again, they're typically pretty conservative with their revenues. So theoretically, we would actually see this collection rate go down a little bit more too, as well as part of the budgeting process. But we're recommending approval of this. Our board would have to approve it, as well as I think probably 12 or 13 other entities in Franklin County would have to approve it, and then it would carry forward as the official budget for next year. And their fiscal year is January, by the way.
Much so. Is there a motion to approve the Franklin County Area Tax Bureau 2026 operating budget as?
I have a move it.
We have first and a second. Mr. Hamburg, you have some questions.
Incredible increase from 25 to 26. They're essentially doubling their part. And they giving you a justification. I have the same amount tax bills to process it, yet they have to increase their part-time budget by 97.
Sure. So, right. The answer to that is they are increasing staffing slightly in the part-time world. But the reason why the costs are going up so much is because they've had some retirements and they're bringing some staff back in as part-time staff to help transition. So they've had a couple long-term employees who are very knowledgeable about the collection of this. We're talking, I'm trying to think about the total cost of collections here. We're talking about $65 million. So these folks have been really integral, I think, really in the collection process for many years. They're bringing them back in for another year. Probably, I would say it's going to be more than a year. But they want to really make sure that the cost of the process itself continues and moves forward correctly. Again, their goal is to always stay within that number. And so I think they feel comfortable bringing those staff back in to make sure this transition works well. And then obviously we'll see what the next year budget looks like from there.
Healthcare has gone up 25%. Realize healthcare.
Yeah.
Pricey. I just don't necessarily comfortable. Essentially a steady state number of tax bills. No. Even when I was spending that, never felt comfortable budgeting.
So can I ask, what are the implications if the board were to vote this?
Sure. So again, I'm trying to remember, I think it's 25 entities altogether. So once a majority approves it, then it's approved as a budget. So if one individual district doesn't vote on this or votes it down, or if 5 of them vote it down, it would still pass so long as 13, I believe that's the number. I'm trying to remember the majority number there, passes the budget. So it would still then carry forward. Yep.
And if I remember, according to the allocation, doesn't matter what Franklin County decide to vote.
Well, and that's you're right. And the tax collection committee side is a weighted voting. So on the tax collection side, but on the Franklin County Area Tax Bureau, on this piece of it, it's actually a one entity, one vote on this one. So believe it or not, Mont Alto carries the same weight as the Chambersburg Area School District in this case. Yeah, correct.
Any other questions on this item? None, we'll go ahead and move to the vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed? And any abstentions? I think we're gonna come down to the numbers once we get it in, Ms. Hennikel.
Stuff about it.
Okay,
I'll go along with that. I don't.
which is a valid reason to abstain. You could let me know the total.
I'm holding my nose and vote. Reagan once said, I'd rather kiss.
Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I I mean, I can't be sure if no one voted or my hearing aids went out, so. Okay. How do you vote? Yeah,
I heard you.
there you go. So, alrighty, that brings, we're more Franklin Area Tax Bureau. So, Franklin Area Tax Bureau and the Tax Collection Committee representative and alternate, Dr. Holtzman.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And for obvious reasons, we like to separate those two motions between number 5.
Yes,
and
no,
number 7.
that worked. That makes
So
sense.
that we always like to do that. But this is to appoint representatives. It would be me for the Franklin County Area Tax Bureau and the Tax Collection Committee, and then Caroline Royer, who serves as the business administrator for Greencastle, but she also lives here in the community. We've used each other as backups for this, and sometimes it helps us make quorums if somebody can make a meeting or cannot make a meeting due to conflicts. So we've had those challenges in the past with both of those organizations to make sure we have enough people in attendance. So that's been helpful for us the last couple of years, and we're recommending and asking for you to continue approving us for another year.
So the motion is to approve Eric Holtzman as the representative and Caroline Royer as the alternate to the Franklin County Area Tax Bureau and the Tax Collection Committee for fiscal year 20. Is there a motion?
I so moved.
Second.
First and a second. Any discussion, questions? There you go. Being no more discussion or questions, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
That then brings us to our budgeted pre-K grant program. I will just say as a comment before I introduce it, there are 2 items, and while they are related, we need to vote on them separately. So we are doing the budgeted pre-K grant and program, and then the bridge loan in that order. So while we can adjust the order in which we vote on it by a motion by the board, after discussion, it was decided we would vote on the program itself first, and then vote if we wanted to do the bridge fund or the bridge loan, excuse me, as a secondary motion. So that is why those items are not together. I wanted to add that clarification why they are not together. So, Dr. Holtzman, introduction first.
Yep, sure. I can do that. Sure.
Yep.
This agenda item is going to would provide an additional payment for the pre-K programs in the amount of 109,000, rounding that number, to be split between the sub-grantees, First Start Partnerships, and Waynesboro Early Learning Center. This is the same manner we did the last 3 months. The purpose, of course, is to fund these schools to continue operating through the Christmas break, I believe is the goal and my understanding through this process. The hope is that the state will pass a budget before the holiday Christmas break. I know we are hearing that possibly might even happen very soon. I don't want to be Charlie Brown waiting to kick the football, but it sounds like they're very close at this point. Year to date, we've paid $327,000 towards the pre-K. Again, this is a pass-through grant. The grant has already been approved by the state. They're just not funding it yet. So we're also reimbursed for the final payment of the 24-25 school year. So that kind of caught us up. That happened last month as well. Yep.
Thank you, Dr. Holt.
Sure.
So,
Let's make,
correct. So
the money ran out what day? Our third installment.
31st.
Yeah.
So we're going November and
As the
Yep.
I did have a conversation. My recommendation is like to fund the 1/12, that we define the 1/12 as November 17th to December 19th. With the understanding that if we are funding by the 1/12, according to my calculation, 7 days, November, that the pre-K counts would be operational. I do believe it may create some financial concerns, but I feel that this particular window of time is adequate for the funding we're providing.
That answer your question, Mr. Hamburger? So the motion is to approve funding for the pre-K sub-grant recipients for the 2025-26 school year, 1/12 of the 25-26 school year and this will be the funding period of November 17th, 2025 to December 19th, 2025. So is there a motion? First and a second. Any additional discussion?
We will have a school board prior to.
Correct. I believe it's that first Tuesday in December, the reorganization meeting. So that's when this could come up again. Assuming no state budget, that's when this could come up.
We have to act like this case.
Yes.
I don't know how the procedure on this, but I'd like the motion to be amended to have the dates in it. Does it? It's in there. Oh, everybody? I'm sorry.
So as I'm reading on my screen, the motion to approve funding the pre-K sub-grant recipients for the 25-26 school year. And the dates in there are November 17, 2025 to December 19, 2020. Okay, we're good. Any other questions or discussion?
So we voted for the three months or whatever. So that covered a back month and then 2 months. Is that why they closed literally after we voted yes?
That is correct. There was a misunderstanding, I believe, on our perspective that we were, like in essence, when we voted in August, I was under the impression that we were able to vote in August, so therefore it paid for September 15th. And as a result of further investigation, apparently when we voted in August, it essentially paid for August invoice. So essentially, based on the last board meeting, my concern is that based on the vote that we not be dire for the board perspective to continue the funding. As a result, I reached out and indicated that, might be our October, November, I thought, payment, and that I may not be able, or I could go back to but I can't guarantee that the board funding. At that point, it was clarified via email that that funding essentially ended on October 31st. So I apologize for my lack of understanding how that was presented to the board, because I was also under the impression we voted to into November. And I believe Dr. Royer also was asking some clarifying questions at the time, because even if I was thinking with the delayed start, we would at least be able to carry over until November. So I believe this motion is a compromise in the sense that to ask, and again, the board can elect to change the motion, but to ask for a November payment and a December payment. I'm that, therefore I've made the recommendation of that window of time.
You weren't the only one.
Question. So teachers program, they were paid on 12 months?
Pardon me?
The teachers in this pre-K counts program, they were paid for 12 months?
I would have to refer to They're paid for the contracted time that they are with learners and then as well as some prep time. But
Yeah, I don't have the salary schedules either in terms of the things that they're paid offhand.
My daughter is one of the teachers, I believe. Not quite a full 12 months. I think August is never start again. They're on a normal schedule.
Yeah, and see, that's my thought too. And so why did we have to pay for August?
so in the agreement, and interestingly enough, there's a traditional agreement that we've established with First Start Partnerships. There's also a revised agreement that Dr. Vincent Ondeco has also worked on in the line at the end of September. With the grant, there is an expectation that the Waynesbury School billed on a monthly basis for operational expenses. So in essence, it's not just funding our teacher salaries, our educator salaries here, but there are other assessment with First Start Partnerships that they're pooling, my understanding, all the county money together. At this point, the operational programs are in Greencastle, there's one program, in Tuscarora, there's one program, and we have 7 here. At this point, the Chambersburg area is not operational.
Oh, I thought they just back. Chambersburg.
Head Start program.
Oh, that was Head Start. I'm sorry.
Not the
Well,
pre-K
it was,
counts.
the social media posts were a little confusing, but it was the Head Start.
It was Head Start rather than
programs.
this.
Yes,
Okay.
not
I'm
pre-K
sorry.
counts.
It's okay. That makes sense. Thank you. Even though teachers did not get paid, those teachers that get paid 12 months, I understand that it's 1/12 that is paid per month.
I believe the teachers were originally, I can only speak for WELC, but August 10th. And they were actually coming.
Yeah.
Question. Question for Mr. Postman. How does this, what type of, extended to, what type of shape would the district in financial as it relates to holdout and budget?
Sure. In terms of, from a cash flow perspective, we're still fine. We don't have to borrow money at this stage. Obviously, if the budget were to continue into December, January, then we would be in a position where we most likely would have to borrow. We're very lucky for 2 reasons. One is we do have a fund balance, which is good, a healthy fund balance. And then 2, we receive most of our local income tax revenue, or not income, sorry, real estate tax revenue early on in our fiscal year. So that helps to carry us through. But we'll be like most districts by December, January timeframe, we'll be looking a little tighter. A typical payroll for us is about 1.5 million every 2 weeks. So $100,000 is not a significant portion of our budget in any given month at the end of the day. If that helps answer the question a little bit.
Or just to clarify, 2 items are kind of, if the board approves the bridge loan, that would pay the district back for
Right.
the 3 months that they've already paid for.
Right. So that's why we're doing it in the order that we have done, because we wanted to. The bridge loan is essentially a payback of only the 3 months we've already done. We want to move forward with the program. We need to vote on that separate. So approving the bridge loan really just provides us with extra cash flow for those needs. However, it's more of a payback of what we've already done rather than a pay forward of continuing.
So technically, if the board makes the decision to vote yes on this
Correct.
and yes on the bridge loan, at the end of the day, we're out less money than we have been.
Correct.
That-
And if it's, yes, correct. So say we say we paid $100,000.
Hmm?
We vote yes to do this. We're going to pay another, just to keep their numbers around 25.
Hmm.
What we're essentially doing is we're just paying if we vote yes on the bridge loan, we're balancing the scale a little bit more by raising it just in cash flow. That help answer your question?
No, I just.
So no, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Well, to me, this makes more sense to say yes to this if we approve the bridge loan. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I understand the order you put them in, but approving the bridge loan
to me is important to make this decision. That makes sense?
So there's a couple of procedural things. What we could do is we could postpone this vote and then vote on the bridge loan. And then come back to this after we vote on the bridge loan. If the board wants to do that, or we vote on this now and
I'm fine. I'm fine. I just wanted to clarify for my own financial.
correct.
Actually, I would like clarification. So I see it differently. So Dr. Holzman, you said actually have the money to do this right now
Correct. Right. Without having to borrow at this time.
without having the bridge loan.
Correct.
Now, assuming the state decides to continue
Mhm.
dragging their feet, then could we still get a bridge loan later on if we need it?
Correct. I assume that option would still be out there. I mean, we don't, we would assume that the treasurer's office would continue and extend that offer out there. And again, in reference to the bridge loan itself, if we get to the point where we have to borrow money, it's going to be really to carry everything. It's not just going to be for one piece of it.
Bridge loan is essentially applying for a line of credit, apply for a certain amount of money.
Sure.
Truly, no interest. Does the treasury have the money to give us?
Right. So a couple of great questions there. So my understanding is the Treasury does have money. They have actually issued loans to other organizations. And I apologize if we're jumping into number 8 here a little bit. My apologies.
I think it'll help with
Sure.
the decision on this.
So the Treasury has issued funds out to other entities. At this point, no other school districts have taken advantage of the bridge loan. There's one intermediate unit that has, but no other school districts have done that. It's been other entities who were the grantees, so non-school districts, so to speak.
Curious why so just doing it. It's not worth the trouble.
Well, it could be, right? And they could be in a position similar to our position where if we need to borrow money, it's more so for the entire district, not so for just this one program. Right.
$60 million budget.
Correct. Right. For some of these
I'd
other
like to say $300,000 minimum.
Correct. Right. Out of $88 million, it's a much smaller piece. So they do have the funds. No school districts have taken advantage of it yet. They do charge interest. Now we've heard a lot of different versions. The Senate has said that they would waive it. The House has not voted on that. There's been conversations that the interest could be pushed back to the subgrantees or Octel would cover that. We've heard different variations of that. Although I would say and make a statement that says that right now my overnight rate that I have for our funds, our district funds and our fund balance, we're getting about 1.6%. So realistically, if I don't have to borrow the funds, I really would prefer not to pay 4.5% interest on something where I'm only losing 1.6% interest, so to speak.
I'm not sure if I'd take a mortgage on it.
Yeah. And so what they would do is
the terms are.
Right. And to answer your other question, at this point, the Treasury would fund 25% of the program, which really covers about 3/12 of our payments, which we've already made. And then those funds would be due back to them. They have some time frames in terms of when the state budget is approved and we start receiving money, then we would have to pay that back with interest within that time.
I'm getting it.
So, yeah.
Thing like, we're given a budget every week, like, here's what you can spend, and, on weeks that we've overspent, then following week we need to underspend.
Yeah, sure.
And so like, what have they done to underspend or to help this amount? Because 109,000 30 days, decent, like, what can we do what are they doing to be fiscally responsible?
Yeah, and I don't have the answer to that question offhand. Again, from our grantee perspective, we certainly pass those funds through. That might be a Dr. Vincent Ondeco question that she's been more involved or engaged in that process. Yeah. Yeah.
Question. Not seeing any. Is there a desire to postpone this till after the bridge? All right. So we'll go ahead and move to a vote then. So All those in favor of approving funding for the PK SNAP grantee recipients for the 25-26 school year. Again, this is the time period of November 17 through December 19. I'll go ahead and vote on this now. So all those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions? And I believe that will pass. Thank you. Now that comes down to the pre-K bridge loan. So again, we have already approved funds for the pre-K classroom. This is now deciding, do you also want to apply for a bridge loan? Is that correct, Dr.?
Yes, sir, that's correct. So, again, as a school district and organization, anytime we were to go to borrow money and to go out and do something like that, take action, obviously that would take board action. We can't just go out and do that arbitrarily ourselves. So we were made aware of this program that was out there. Just to summarize some of the comments we said a little bit earlier, they basically would pay us for 25% of last year's funding level, which is effectively 3/12 of the payments. There is an interest rate of 4.5%. Again, we've heard variations that could be waived or pushed down to sub-grantees, but at this point, we do know it is a 4.5% loan. Our borrowing costs right now, so to speak, and I hate to use the term borrowing costs, but our lost investment income option right now is 1.6% because that's how much money I'm basically not getting in my fund balance on overnight funding. So it's only 1.6%. So effectively, this would probably cost more than what we're actually losing in interest income, if that makes any sense. So, so nonetheless, going down that path. Again, we are not aware of others. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sounds like a
And again, if you absolutely need the funds, they are available there, and it's you have a fixed known rate of interest here for that. Again, I'm not aware of other school districts. There's one intermediate unit that has applied. Typically, it's been a lot of the other grants have been awarded. And I think we actually gave you a list as of the week. So each week they have been attaching. The treasurer's office has been attaching, but a lot of them are different groups. I don't want to read out loud here, but they have a whole list here of all of their different pre-K groups, and those would be the actual grantees. So you have to be the grantee to apply for this. So you can't be a sub-grantee and apply for it. You would have to be the grantee. Again, we're bringing this to your attention. It is an agenda item. Again, we thought that it was prudent to bring all options, even though sometimes those options might not be really the best course or path.
So again, just as a reminder before I see if there's a motion, we've already approved funds for the pre-K program. This is now, are we going to apply for? That is what is. So is there a motion to approve applying for the Pennsylvania Treasurer Pre-Counts Investment Loan Agreement, a bridge loan up to the 5% limit? Hearing a first or a second. Okay, I don't full think report. I'm going to discuss it. All righty, so we are not, there is no movement. So again, just as we have approved pre-K funding, it's not going to apply for a bridge loan.
I would note.
Correct.
And that's correct. We can bring that back. And I apologize. There was actually a note in there too from our solicitor as well on this. I probably forgot to mention that. But yeah, I think his comments mirrored what a lot of the other comments I heard here this evening were on the bridge loan itself.
I just did a little Googling.
Mhm.
State legislatures have been called back to Harrisburg. They have a voting session scheduled for tomorrow.
So when I see it, Miss.
Well,
Sure, Marvin, can I make a comment?
That-
Can I make a comment?
No, wait till board comments.
Excuse me?
Well,
Was I not to say something?
No, was.
I guess it can.
All right. You know what? I have 3 meetings left, including this one. So you guys are making an adventure. I'll just give you that. So there's no more action on the pre-K bridge loan. So we will move on to surplus equipment auction and disposal.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So we have some items. I think hopefully you could see the pictures of what the items were. Some of them almost defy description to a certain extent. There are things that we have had certainly in our basement area at Fairview for quite a long time. We're asking for approval to go ahead and put those up. Typically, We don't really have that many items overall. We'll probably just put it out kind of as a silent bid, submit bids in by this date for this equipment. Probably have a period of time where people can walk over there and come into the basement and look at those items before they put the bids in, obviously. But we're asking for approval to do this. We've done this a couple times in the past. It's been probably 2 or 3 years since we've actually had some type of an auction, though.
Handled.
And I apologize. It's going to be more like a sealed bid at the end of the day, probably. I don't feel that we have enough stuff to warrant hiring an auctioneer to come in, but we have done that in the past. We've hired Hurley's a couple times, who've come in, and some other companies have come in and helped clean out the basement. It just becomes kind of a catch-all for everything from all the buildings. It's the largest storage area we have.
That's just, yeah, not used it, collecting dust, getting it out.
Right. A lot of the chairs and tables actually came out of some of the libraries. If you remember, we were able to redo the libraries over the last couple of years between grants and between prize winnings. That we were the grand prize winner for one of the libraries. So some of that furniture came from those library areas. It's pretty worn out. Some of this is 50 and 60 years of age.
Alrighty, is there a motion to approve an in-house auction and disposal of surplus equipment?
Second.
Additional questions, discussion?
Proceeds go, they go to the originating school or they go to the general fund?
General fund, sir. Yeah. Yep. And in some cases, it's because it's hard to define necessarily where it goes back to. But that's a good question. Yeah. General fund.
Where will is this posted on the website, or where do people go if they want to bid?
We will. We'll post on the website. We'll send some emails and notifications out. We could even probably do something in some other communications, obviously. We've done this before. And again, we try to get very proactive about communicating. Oftentimes we don't receive a lot of feedback or a lot of bids at the end of the day, but we try. I think it's the right thing to do, and we go from there.
The motion is to approve the in-house auction and disposal of surplus equipment. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
That brings us to our last business item, advertise for capital projects.
Yes, sir. So we've talked about this probably for several meetings. We've talked and kind of planned through this process for a couple of years, actually. When you go back, I think some of this started right around the 22 school year. So it's probably been about 3 years in process. What we're asking for this agenda item is to go out to bid for these projects. They're not all going to happen at the same time. I believe the WAMS gym project would actually be first, and then elementary projects would go second. They would be split out, and so on and so forth. But this is not to approve bids. It's not to authorize spending. At this point, it's simply just to go out and advertise and then see what those bids come back in as.
I'm going to read it in its entirety, and then we'll see if we have a motion. Motion to approve advertising for capital projects to include the elementary accessibility projects, Waynesboro Area Middle School Gymnasium renovation and accessibility project, Waynesboro Area Middle School Auditorium renovation project, and the Washes Stadium light replacement project. So is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any additional questions or clarification on this item?
Basically going out and getting a price.
Correct.
You're out of.
This will not cost us any.
Cost of advertising. So we have to advertise in newspapers. Yeah. Right, but the bid specs are already put together. We've already paid for the bid specs to be put together on this as part of that process the last 2 years. But then we'll have a cost to advertise. So that's essentially the cost. Yeah. So last year, right, we bid out the elementary accessibility projects and we received general. So we have to bid these out typically in multiple primes. And what they mean by that is you have to have a contract for the general construction, one for electrical, one for HVAC, and one for plumbing. So we received general bids. We received several from local companies, but we did not receive the other ones. So what our potential backup plan would be is if we come down to that same path where we do not have one of the other prime contractors is not bid on, what we would do is then we would go through the process where we can go out. And again, you have to go through a prevailing wage process, either using state contracts or other bid process to go through there to be able to obtain that. The problem is the general contract piece of this is very large. The other ones, the electrical and plumbing and such, are very, very small as part of this. So it's hard to get excitement to do this. So another piece to this too is we did hear from some of the contractors that if we were to bid out the elementaries as two different projects, the one project with elevators in it for the two buildings and the other ones with just have bathrooms, we feel that we'll also get some more interest and even possibly some more local interest as well. Yeah.
However,
But-
when you're building a building, it's a good idea. Plumbing.
It is, but it's challenging because again, the way we have to bid these projects out, it becomes a bit of a challenge under the state model.
Last time we did not bid out anything with the middle school or the stadium lights. It was just the elementaries.
Right.
This is including those other 3 projects as
Yeah, and we're in a totally different bidding environment.
Are we bidding out all these things right now?
We will be bidding them out kind of in a series and in an order. Again, it would start with the middle school and then followed by the elementary schools. And then we would look at both the auditorium and the lights as well.
After award them.
Right. Yeah, ultimately, we're going to bring these back separately. So we're not going to bring them back in one large group and say we have to vote on all these. You'll have to actually vote on each project separately.
Well, and we have paid to put all these specs together already.
Correct. Right.
So
Yeah, it's a long process.
we do have
Yeah.
a good bit of money invested already to do
Yeah,
this.
we have money invested into that.
So
Certainly.
to not bid out would almost kind of seem silly.
Yeah, you'd
If
have a lot of
that's-
sunk cost.
Yeah.
Well, we know we paid to have all these estimates done, correct?
But the
It's-
costs now are minimum.
Yeah, correct.
questions. So we'll go ahead and move to vote. All those in favor of approving advertising or putting out for bids, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? That concludes
Thank you.
that last piece of regular business. We're now down into financial business.
Yes, sir. We have bills for payment, and then we also have requisitions in there, and that's for the general as well as the cafeteria fund.
So is there a motion to approve the purchase orders and bills for payment?
Pay the bill.
I have a first and I'll say a second from Mr. Hamburger over here. Any other questions or discussion? Being none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Now we're down to Clayton cabinet comments. Anything from our Clayton team?
I have a few things to share since we didn't have our board report today. Did want to again congratulate our student athletes. One of the students I wanted to point out was one of our Lunfest scholars. Also got athlete recognition, also got college board recognition, which I think is really a testament to the hard work students put in, and quite a larger number this year than what we've had in the last several years from the college board. So that we were very excited to see that. So to the best of our knowledge, WASD did host its first ever Veterans Day program last Friday. History Club kind of took the lead on that, had a school-wide event to kind of get things kicked off. Representative Reichard was here, as well as some other veterans to do the keynote speaker. The band and the choir did a performance for the students, and then they rotated through. So I don't know how many schools bring together over 1,000 students and have excellent behavior and hanging on the edge of their seat, but that is what happens in Waynesboro, and we're always very appreciative. Then they kind of went into some breakout sessions with veterans sharing firsthand experiences. They did like a boot camp. There was some service projects. So awesome event that they definitely hope to continue in the future. The Student Services Department is recognizing Homelessness Awareness Week. Starting next week, the 17th to the 21st, our staff will be wearing red on Friday, and then pretty much all of the schools are doing some type of a drive or collection. Most of them are supporting our local community, either the New Hope Shelter or things at their school. And then a few weeks ago, the Washus Brainbusters team, which is represented this time by Kieran Clay, Peter Childers, and Will Yost, competed against Mannheim Township in the opening round of the tournament. And that episode is going to air on Sunday. Happy birthday, Dr. Sternerheim, for the Brainbusters event. So I believe it's on WGAL at noon. But the asterisk is like sometimes WGAL has to change their programming based on like sporting events. So that is what we were told, but it might possibly change. So I can't tell you the outcome, but Dr. Popko and I were both there. It is an exciting match. So I'll be able to tell you how they did next week. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Clayton team. We'll move to board member comments.
I did, and actually, most of the young ladies have left, so next time I'll just talk.
That's fine.
Um,
My apology.
That's okay. What do you have to lose? You can fire me, right?
That's right. Well, Dr. Payne, Dr. Reuter.
Yeah. I just want to appreciate the board. One of our public speakers said to see beyond the line items, and I think the board has done that. I don't know if you saw the reaction in the audience, but you just gave, 15 ladies their jobs back tonight. So, as well as two employees at WELC. So I just think, I'm very appreciative of that. And I have every confidence that the state will come up with a budget. And, the board will not be sorry that they made that. So congratulations, ladies. I would also like to thank Dr. Kopko and Dr. McCallum and anyone else involved in the Veterans Day program. My husband attended, and he came home and was in awe of the program and how it was put together. I believe Mr. Knoll had a lot to do with putting that together. He just couldn't believe the behavior of the students. He couldn't believe everything that was done, all the the break at the lunch, everything. Very impressed by the 102-year-old veteran. Everything that was going on. So kudos. It's nice to hear things like that from the community. I would also, Linda spoke and thanked the coaches. I would also like to recognize, I didn't get a chance because he scooted out of here, the great work that Mr. McElwain has done with our athletic program. He mentioned that Mrs. Saunders was his first hire. Mr. McElwain was my first hire when I returned to the district, and I think he was a good one. I just want to thank all he has done because I don't think people realize how much behind the work and how much he's elevated our sports programs over the last 4 years. That's it.
I'd just like, he was also instrumental when the borough needed access for the civil service test, physical agility. We used the fields, and we used the weight and so on. And without that, more difficult.
That's good to know.
Always, could always count on the school.
Other board member comment.
Yeah, so opportunities are certainly increasing, so I take advantage. First of all, like congratulations, the Waynesboro Early Learning Center. I've heard nothing but excellent and great things about. And so, but my only concern is that going forward, making sure that our community, our staff is there in the Waynesboro Learning Center, teachers, not put in this situation again. And that's by taking a close examination of the partnership with First Star Partnership, which I looked at some of their financial priorities and records are questionable at best. So I don't, three of us won't, going forward, and we want to make sure that kids in our community have the support that they need. Preschool education is extremely important. Everything that they said, 100% correct. But perhaps going forward, maybe the district can look to have their own program, organize and control the funding and financial progress of, so that we don't have to depend on an outside agency that doesn't have our same priorities or does not have our same oversight when it comes to financial planning structure.
Other board member comment. Echo, I had the opportunity to attend the Summit View Elementary Veterans Day program, which is had that privilege for past number of years, but kids all do a great job. Teachers and the staff, and I only know some of you, so Mrs. Slick, the teacher there that runs it, does a great job. Great opportunity for our students to learn more about veterans and military in general, but this also civil service is a great introduction. So with that, we will go ahead and I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Second. Just as a way of comment, we are not going to executive session afterwards. We did have a personnel matter before the meeting that we addressed in executive session, but all those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Not on
All right, motion carries. Thank you all and have a good evening.